Okay.
Okay, now we're good. Well,
Okay. Good morning. You are entering Art for the Experienced, and we're altering books. And today we're here with Gwen Howard again, the wonderful Gwen Howard, and we're doing weaving. Here you go.
welcome. Good morning. It's great to see everyone. I want to introduce you. We're going to be weaving today, or adding adding stitching to your books. But some of the supplies that I'm starting off with are, oddly enough, we have paper towels. We've got papers. We've got, say, even a calendar page. I've used playing cards, different things that we can use to weave with. And I also have different kinds of yarns. I have ribbons. One of the other fun things to weave with are vegetable bags. This might have been an orange bag, garlic bags, different kinds of bags that you can use. Here's a bunch of different ones that we can use for weaving. We also can use our book. So I want to just show you a couple of things I created. This was used using the, Arden is waiting to get in.
Oh, okay. No.
Okay, good. I'll start over.
Okay.
Hey, Arden.
Hi, Arden.
Good to see you. Welcome.
Hi, Arden. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We're going to start off today with weaving. And the fun part is you can have something as simple as a toilet roll holder, okay? Or a paper towel. You can even use things like onion bags, cutting them up, okay? You can use paper. You can use cards. Oh, let's say you have a deck of cards that you don't have, you don't have all 52 cards in it, and you have this old deck. You can use all different kinds of things to weave with. And I have it. So what I thought today first was showing you how to weave using the toilet roll. Okay. And again, it could be a piece of cardboard. It can do with any kind of paper. Okay. And I'm going to take my scissors. And I know that everybody has one of these in the house. So this is something you can do, is recycling something. So I've cut to make it flat. Then I'm going to fold it in half. Fold it in half. And I'm going to make slits in it. And I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to stop right about 1/4 of an inch before the end of the where I did my original cut. So I'm going to make several cuts going down so you can see what I'm doing here, but making sure you leave a little bit of space. Okay? It'll be easier. Yep, even a cardboard. You have a piece of cardboard you're using, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. That'll work. It can be any size. You may want to cut it to the size that might fit inside your book. Okay? So let's say I'm going to show you something. I set up a page. Wait till we get that. Because we also, I'll show you what you need to do is prep your book. So you're going to want to, for prepping, you want to put at least 2 pages together to give it the strength.
Okay.
Okay.
So should it be like on a completely different page?
Yeah, do it a completely different page. I'm going to glue 2 pages together to strengthen it because we're going to attach this to it. And so I'm gluing my page, making sure we get it ready.
All right.
Okay. So that could be drying while we're working. And if you wanted to add color to it, you could do that while you're going to do your weaving. So I just prepped this book. That's ready. I'm going to do one more set of pages. So you want to do, my suggestion is, in your book as you're getting ready, is to glue 2 pages together, 3 sets of them. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, because there we go. So find 6 pages you want to put aside for this part of the project. Gluing that down, and there we go. So I'm gonna let this dry while I do my weaving. I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'm a hands-on artist where I use my hands, and so I could have used a brush to move that glue. So anyway, when you're ready, I've created my slats on my toilet roll holder. And you can take a better look at it. You can see the slats, okay? And I made sure when I had it folded that I left space at the top so I didn't cut all the way through. So now basically what I've done is I've made a loom. And again, we could use, where did I have my cards? I could do it with cards.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You could do it with anything you wish to create. So I'm taking my card and folding it in half. Another way to do it. Okay.
Does birch bark work for this? I have a ton of birch bark here.
Okay. Let's here I go.
Or would it be brittle?
What's that?
Would birch bark work for this?
Yes, it did. Because I added birch bark into mine. And here's some of the things that I did to mine is that I drew on it.
Oh, cool.
Okay. And I did both sides. I actually put designs on both sides of this. And this is starting with the toilet roll holder. I've used birch bark. I've used construction paper on top of construction paper. I've used magazines that I cut up into strips. And, you know, and back here, I even painted a little bit and added designs around the paint. But you can use paper, you can use magazines and whatnot to create this. You're going the opposite way. Stop. Okay.
Oh.
So, oh wait, no, I'm wrong. You need to cut right here.
Okay.
So open it when you're finished.
When
okay?
I'm finished.
Okay.
Yes.
At first I thought you were cutting against, yes. Okay. So,
Okay.
so I've created that. You can then again, I have gone through and I can take strips of magazines. I love this color of this one. And so I'm gonna just, you know, the fun part about weaving or creating art is that you can do it without spending a lot of money. Look at, like you're using a box, a cereal box, and using it as your weaving loom. I found magazines. I went out in the woods and got birch bark. I've used twigs, all different kinds of things you can do. So when you weave, you want to go, you start off with, I went under, over, under, over, under, over. I start that way, okay? My next row will be the opposite. Now, you know what? I see some, I even use pipe cleaners that you can use, or it could be a twig. So my next row is going to be the opposite. I'm going to go, this is under, I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over, under. And you can use yarn, you can use string, and yours, you can have different kinds of textures showing through. So I just started my weaving here. The back could be like this. I'm going to move that out just a little bit. I can have that go over. It's important to glue just the ends. You don't have to glue every section of it. You glue the ends down and do a pinch. Sometimes I say count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To hold that down, I'm going to do the same with this side. I'm going to glue down the end of my pipe cleaner on both ends, counting to 5. And like I said, I can use all sorts of fun things. I'm just looking in my scrap bag for different colors that I might like to use. different papers. A lot of people just use construction paper, but you don't have to just use construction paper.
Yeah.
Right? You could just, like I said, you may have a magazine at home that you like. Here's another piece of scrap. Newspaper. Newspaper is fabulous, especially since they have all the words. You can use, oh, look at all your magazines, right?
Yeah, all the magazines that I cut up last time.
Yeah, and so you can use the scraps of them.
So, yeah, I'm going to use more of those.
So when you weave, you go every other one, okay? And make it look like, I call it a checkerboard. Now there's other patterns you can do, but this is the simplest one that I wanted to show you. Just doing every other row. Okay, have you done any weaving before?
I can't remember. I'm sure I have at some point, but not in a very, very long time.
Okay, so it's important to start off with, let's say you start off with going, when you put your piece through, start with, I did under, over, under, over, under, over. My next row is going to be the opposite. It's going to be over, under, over, under. So the row beyond that will be the opposite of that. And that should be under, over. So you're getting a pattern. Do that. Now, what Karen's doing, she's actually going to paint her toilet roll holder first, okay, and let it dry. She also, you can use crazy scissors. I'm going to just show you another way to cut lines. You don't have to do straight lines when you create.
Yeah, so mine are not straight.
That's good. I'm going to show her too. So I've done this. I always cut from the fold, okay? You watch, I can make it wavy if I wanted to. And I follow that line. I can use crazy scissors, the ones that have the different designs on them. And so that's the fun part about weaving, is that we can use and be open about what I do. Again, I'm stopping before the end so that I can almost make, well, this is our loom. Like I said, sometimes people can turn this into a lantern. You've heard of the Chinese lanterns? Charlotte wants to come in.
Yeah, I think.
Great. So I have now, look at this. This has wavy lines.
Oh, cool.
Welcome, Charlotte. So I'm showing how to, to create weaving projects using, whoops, I'll do this. You have a toilet roll holder, okay? Come down, Charlotte's on with us, so I wanted to show her real quick.
Oh, somebody else is on?
Yep.
Charlotte.
Charlotte, I'm gonna see if I have another one in here. There we go. Okay, I have a colored one, okay? I'm going to cut it down the center. Now you can use regular toilet roll holders, you can use paper towel holders, you can use cards, and I'm going to show you even how you can do it in your book, okay? Again, you cut down the center. Now, if you got a colored one, Charlotte, I'm not sure you got one that's painted, it's very thick. So one of the things I did the other day is I separated the colored paper from the bottom. So in some ways, one doesn't, it's okay, but it makes it thinner, easier to use. And I am going to create. So you hold it together, Charlotte, when you're making a weaving, okay? Hold the two ends together. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a cut, but you're not gonna go all the way down to the end where it's open. So you're starting from the fold, and you're gonna go, and I go there and stop, leave space. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can make as many or as thick or as thin cuts next to each other, parallel cuts, and just making sure you don't cut all the way down, leaving some space at the very bottom here. Now Karen's getting she's having fun over here because she is painting her loom, and I want to show you what she's doing, okay? Just to give you an idea. So Charlotte has painted hers.
I started.
Karen has painted hers.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
But
I've cut it. But I cut it first. I hope that doesn't.
So I've finished cutting mine, and you can see that I have my strips. Okay. Yes. So you would open it up now. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I can take some of the magazines that I have, and we can, let's see, which one do I want? I can use, you have construction paper that you can cut into strips. But I want to show you again, which one did I create? Oh, here we go. So Charlotte, this is one that I've already created.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so what I've done here is that's paper that I put just at the top, just the very top, and just added that strip. This is birch bark that I used, but then I came back on top of it and used construction paper on top of this one's construction paper on top of construction paper. I designed both sides of my toilet roll holder or my loom, okay? Because I'm gonna make a window in my book so you can see both sides, okay?
Okay.
Here's a smaller one that I created, very simple, that doesn't have a lot of drawing on it, and it was made with yarn, birch bark, and a very thin piece of wood with yarn. Okay? So have you done any weaving before?
Not exactly.
Okay, so let me show you how to get started, okay? So you have strips of paper that you can cut out, okay? I would suggest starting with paper. And again, you can use your, I'm gonna take my paper. Well, mine's red, so I'm really not gonna I'm gonna use red. Okay, you have green, right? So I'm gonna go in through my scraps and see what colors I wanna. Again, these are my magazines. They can have pattern on it. Once I cut this up, we're not gonna realize what's there. I like this green. Trim it up. You can also tear your papers. It gets a nice edge if you'd like to do that. Okay, so here I have my strip. And so the first thing I'm doing is I always start going, you can start under, over, under, over. And like I said, there's a lot of different weaving patterns. This is the simplest one that I'm going to show you. You can look online for different weaving patterns with paper, all sorts of fun designs you can do. But right now we're just doing the basic. So I just put this together, and now I'm going to glue both ends down. Karen, you're starting from the center.
I am starting from the center.
Okay, so Karen's starting from the center, which is okay, because you can work both rounds. But if you want to make sure that doesn't move on you,
yes,
I would glue it down at each end. So watch what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I want to get this in the middle is what I want to.
Oh, I see where you, yes, of course. Do you need help?
No, I think
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, so I'm going to continue weaving with this. While you're weaving on the first one, I'm going to show you some other things you can do, okay? Because I want you to have as much time. So some of you may have gotten a card in your bag of things. You can make a very small weaving by folding it in half, again, like you did the other, and create small slits going down, stopping before the end. So this was from a deck of cards that had lost 2 cards. So
if there's extra, like I cut extra here,
okay, so
do I
here's
cut it off or do I keep it?
it's up to you as the artist, okay? Some people like to have it straight across and cut, okay? This one, as you can see, I've let it go over off the page or off the loom. The same with this one, okay?
Yeah.
You don't have to. You could cut it straight down. It's up to you, okay? And I'm going to show you I've done that. I also did, I'm gonna just show it to you and I'll show you how to do it, is I did a loom inside my book. Okay, isn't that fun? But it's one of the pages. So how I did that was, I'm gonna go to another page and I'm gonna show you how you can do it with your book. So let's see, which one shall I do? I wanna find a page here. My pages are very thick in this particular book. So if yours is not thick, you wanna glue 2 pages together. So I'm gonna bring it right. I'll do this one. Although there's just so many pages in here that are absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna do my December one right here. I'm gonna take my page in my book to create a loom. I'm going to fold it in half, going into the edge of the book. Just like this, I'm gonna fold it. I think you can see, I'm gonna move my camera down just a little bit so you can actually see what I'm doing, okay? So I've got my book and I've folded the page into the center of the book. And I will do the same thing we did with this and the card, where I'm going to create lines, but I'm gonna stop before the end. This one time I'm gonna make just curved lines and creating, I come down, I can make all kinds of lines and they don't have to be the same even. It adds creativity, design to your weaving. And like I said, I draw on my weaving. I add collage to my weaving. I paint my weaving, you know, my loom. You can do anything you wish. So if I wanted to, before I got started, I could have taken some watercolor paint and done a watercolor wash over this. But this time I'm not. So as you can see how I have my loom ready to go. One of the things I liked what I did the other day was I actually took a full-paged picture. And I have some Adirondack Life magazines. I've got old calendars that we can use that I could cut up, different kinds of calendars that are, see with a page. And since this is a winter one, I might actually take a winter picture, because this is, my book says December, so I want to maybe keep it up with the theme of the book. Remember, we're working on themes. So I can take a look here. Ooh, let's see. These are all wonderful pictures. I think I'm going to take this one. Love the water. And when I do this, I actually cut it into strips. Oh, even better. It's fun to see the different pictures in this particular book. It looks all winter. I'll hold on to that one. So I'm taking a look to see what lengths I need. I might decide to take my ruler. I'm going to measure this, what I need. I'm going to measure it to my book because I want to make strips out of this. Like that. So this was the width of my page. And when I cut it, I'm going to keep it in the same order that I cut, so it looks similar to this. And if I'm going too fast, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. And the fun part is you can come back and re-listen. So I'm going to cut this. That line, and I'm going to go here, cut along here. So this should be the same length of the book once I finish cutting it. Now I could use all different kinds of strips, but this one I'm going to just take this picture and now I'm going to cut it into strips, making sure I keep it in the same order that the picture is. Move some of these over here so I don't get it lost with my other work. Go. Take some of my things away here. Started. So Karen, how are you doing with yours?
Okay, just floating along.
Great.
Going slow.
And how are you ladies doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Like I said, sometimes it can take a while to create, finish creating it. So I'm going to keep track of my strips so that they're in the order. I'll lay them down here. And like I said, the fun part about weaving is we can use anything we find. Yarns, if you have a box of yarns, threads, you know what? If there's an old piece of clothing that you have, you can cut it in strips and create using with cloth. Many different ways to weave. So you can see that I'm keeping strips. They're right next to each other. And then you're probably wondering, well, how do I incorporate it into my book, this piece? So as soon as I finish cutting this, I'm going to show everyone how you can actually add your weaving into your book. You can do it, of course. But in the meantime, I'm going to just get these in here and weave. Again, it'll help so it doesn't move. Once you get your piece of paper or thing at where you want it on the thing, I recommend gluing it down so it doesn't move as you're weaving in the other pieces. So I'm going to glue that down. So Karen's mixing different fibers, right, Karen?
Yep.
You've got paper, you've got yarn
and pipe cleaners.
And pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners are fun. The other thing you can use if you have are feathers. Feathers are fun to put into weaving.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Karen, you can leave it open like that, or Karen's going to cut off some of the ends. And when you weave, also, it's important you push the threads together as close as possible. You don't want to leave a lot of space. Like this would be a lot of space in between. You want to try to push them together. So I'm doing that with this one. And there I go, pushing it as close as possible together. So I'm going to continue weaving this, but I'm going to actually take a moment and show you how we can put a window in our book so we can attach that to our book. Okay, so Karen, you would like to show what you've created?
Well, it's not finished yet because I want to write on it right there.
Yeah, but you can add words like Karen's thinking of doing.
Yeah.
You can, like I said, collage it. You can take words from books. So here's when I finished. Let's say I took my calendar and I finished doing all of this. Now here's the thing. I can turn the page and say, do I want to add more to this? Or because I don't like that part, I could glue it together. So take a look, Karen.
Yeah.
So I have this part. Then I can open it up. Well, do I like the back side of this? I may not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So if I don't, I just glue it to the next page.
Yeah.
Okay? And do that. So that's up to you on how you want. Could I add collage to this and more words? Of course I could. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I can see your brain working there, Karen.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes,
oh,
yes.
what kind of opportunities? So I'm going to get my other book that I've been working on too, because I've been working on 2 books at the same time, getting them dry. And where did it go? My big one. I moved it somewhere.
No, this is mine.
No, those are yours. And let me just double check. I didn't leave it over here. I know I showed you ladies upstairs. My book.
Let me go look upstairs.
Oh, no, that's this one. Maybe I can
I'll
imagine
go
I
look
left
it
it.
upstairs.
Okay. Oh, here it is, Karen. Nope, I knew I had it. Okay. So here's my book, and I prepped the pages. So I had 2 pages I glued together. I had 2 pages I glued together and 2 pages I glued together. I'm going to work on the center one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sharp knife, or you can take your scissors. Actually, you can even go like this, folding it. But first I want to see where I want to cut. So I'm going to add this to it. I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to go around to make basically I'm making a frame for my work. So a pencil will be good, or I'm going to use my Sharpie so I can see what I've done. So this piece I'm going to add to here. I'm going to draw on my page the outline of the box that I'm going to do. Taking my pen, I'm leaving some space on the edges of my weaving because it's going to hang in my book. You're wondering, how is she going to do that? Well, you're going to want a hole punch. We're going to put some hole punches in, and then we'll attach it that way. Or you can sew it. So, okay, I've just drawn along here, and I don't know if you can be able to see it. I'll bring it close, but I drew a dark line going around there. So an easy way to do it, you could either use an X-Acto knife and a healing mat that you put underneath, or like what I'm going to do, because it's easy, is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along my line. So here I am cutting where I drew. And like I said, if your page is thin, you're going to want to glue 2 pages together, or 3, depending on how thin your paper is. With books, the publishers use different quality of paper. So you know what kind of paper you have, if it's a thick paper or if it's a thin paper. And as I cut this, I could turn it into a door if I wanted to. Look at this. I could leave it like that and it could become a door, but I want it to hang. So I'm going to hold on to this. And in another lesson next week, I'm going to show you how we can do folds and cuts to create more things. But this week we're going to work on stitchery. Today is weaving, and then next week I'm going to show you, or on Thursday, some more stitching. Cut down. And I have just made a very large window in my book. Okay, you see that? So now what I'm going to do is, how is she going to attach it? This will come in here like this. I'm going to put hole punches in each of the corners. I know we have a hole punch here, Karen.
We do.
And
I'll look for it.
It's right here.
Okay.
And I'll give one for you.
Okay.
You don't have to have a hole punch either. You could use if you have a sharp knife, you could put a hole in it, or if you have an awl, which maybe your dad has, it's a very sharp point, to put a point in here. You also could take a needle and push into it. There we go. I have a plastic needle. And I'm going to use the hole punch because I think it's going to be the easiest. So I'm going to put a hole punch in each of the corners of this. So I'm going to come in here. And again, this is something I've taught my students. How do you use a hole punch? Some people don't know, okay? Because we take a look at the hole punch. The hole punch has what I call a tongue. It has the top of the jaw and the bottom of the jaw. The tongue lifts up. you want to put your paper in between the tongue and the lower jaw. So I'm going to do that. Here like that. And so I just made 4 holes in the page, like that. I'm going to make 4 holes in my weaving. Now, there are also different size hole punchers. This is a 1/4 inch. You actually can order 1/8 inch or even 1/16 inch, depending on the size you wish. And you can use that with these. I've just done this. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to actually get some string.
Oh, that's cool.
You like that, huh?
I do.
So I'm going to take some string, and I have different kinds of yarn here that you can use.
It's like hanging in there.
Yes, it's going to hang just like that.
Wow.
All right, and I'm going to just use what I have here. But like you might have lots of, so I'm going to take a string, get a good bit of it, and I can cut it later. I'm going to put that through there, this through here, and tie it together, leaving some space. You might want to do a double knot, or if you have a long string, you can make a little bow. That's up to you and how limber your fingers might be. I have arthritis in my hands. Whoops, I want to, you know what? That wasn't long enough because I want it to hang a little bit more. So I'm going to just start over. So start to the top, putting it through. And this is why I did a double one, because you can see both sides of this. So there you go. Let's see how long that is, and I'll do the same amount for the next one. Okay. 2. And as you're working, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I like how the fact that you use a lot of words and whatnot in yours, but you may not like it.
I ended up not liking what I wrote.
Ah, so guess what? That's great. Can I show them again, Karen?
Sure.
Because this is what's fun about being an artist. Oops, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't like the words. So I'm now taking acrylic paint and covering over. But another thing you could do is you could take another scrap of paper and collage over and add another dimension to this.
Right. That's a good idea.
So sort of like what I did here, I actually used paint here, Karen. And then I put lines.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I used a Sharpie to create some of the lines on this.
So what it is this Sharpie was too thick.
Okay, I have a thinner one.
Okay. Oh,
here's
okay.
a thin one.
Okay,
there you go.
But in the meantime,
yes.
I need
to fix that.
Yes.
All right, that's the fun part about though being an artist. I call it a beautiful oops.
Yeah.
I've made a mistake, no problem. Because as an artist, some of my materials cost a lot. But the fun part about here, creating an altered book, you're using recyclable materials, things that you have around the home or in nature. Right. A recyclable book, a recycled toilet roll holder, magazines with words and letters. When we were printmaking, we could use the foam of a meat carton and cut it up, or use cardboard. And there's so many different ways to use materials that you have at home that don't cost you a penny. I'm going to do 2 more here. This through. And I'll do 2 of these. How's the weaving coming along?
Good. I'm trying to think of a word to put at the top, and I can't.
Okay, cool. You know what? So so let me tell you something. You can do a word. You could even, cut out something out of the magazine. Again, let me just show you my other piece. Where did I go with it? I was just showing you. Oh, here it is. So you could do this at the top. I added paper at the very, very top. You could do words.
Something out.
But you can actually take other paper and decorate the top parts or the bottom part of your toilet roll, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited about this. I was thinking about it and thinking about it. I did cut my toilet roll holder to fit this space before I wove it. So I'm tying my whole, and so I have just attached my weaving. Now, I'm going to probably add some more things to what I wove on this particular piece. But here, take a look at my weaving in my book, hanging from it. Look at that.
Cool.
And then look at the back.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Okay,
very cool.
so
yeah.
that's why it was important that I prepped both sides of the pages to create this piece of work. So I could do something similar with this one. This is a little too big for this book, unless I just wanted to glue it on. So I could have 2 pages of this. I could glue that on, but since I drew on both sides, I want it to be like a window.
Yeah.
Now, could I add more holes to this to have it add more details? I could add another hole here and here. I'll just show you again if you want. I could put another hole here to stitch it, but it's holding up really nicely. And so I have this. So could I add more things on here? Of course I could. I see you're looking, you're like, wow, let's see what I can do with that, right? But isn't that neat?
Yeah.
It's just something that I was thinking of to do. So that's how we can do some weaving and adding on there. We can also turn it into a door, which I might show, like we did, and you can peek in and see your weaving. And I've got those glued together. I'm going to glue another page here to make it a little stronger. So I'm prepping my book. It's important to prep your book or your pages before you get going. So you have them ready. So Karen's painting hers and maybe set it aside.
Yeah, right.
Let it dry beforehand, because you want to be careful if you've painted with, certainly with acrylic. It might stick to another page that you don't want it to be sticking to. A little thicker. I'm going to continue weaving, but I'm going to weave on the onion skin bag. So this one, again, this is I'm excited about, but I have some work to do here. I might add words, I might collage it, I might print it and add collage. Thinking of that, last week I was working on our printmaking, and I wasn't really thrilled with the finished product of my printing. So I came back in and I added some more color around the edge. This is a piece of collage that I put down that looked like the grasses. And I found these people in another magazine and I cut them out so they're part of that page. Let's see. So I've been slowly working on different pages. So today what I'm going to show you now is onion skin bags that you're weaving. And again, you could do paper. And let's say I have an embroidery needle. I think I have a needle. I have a plastic needle here, but you can use an embroidery needle. If you wanted to take your yarns to help put things through. Oddly enough, you can even put paper through this.
Oh, yeah.
You can weave with paper on this. I've done a number of that with students. But so I have my onion bag that I've cut up. I'm going to double check the size because I want it to fit in my book. So this is a little too wide. So I'm going to cut it so I can do something similar to what I did here. So I'm going to cut it to the size I want for my book. So that's really important before you get started to know the size you want. Okay. Now, this on its own as a weaving is a piece of art in its own. It doesn't have to be put into the book. But it was just really a lot of fun to play with this and see what happens. With
Well, it makes your book a record of the art you've done.
That's correct.
That's
correct.
what we talked about when we did this, and that this is like an art journal of the things you've done this summer. You've learned to weave, you've learned to print, all kinds of stuff.
That's true.
Here.
So I'm gonna just show you some things we can do here with this onion skin bag. And like I said, I collect all these bags because, you know, Charlotte, how you used a fly swatter to print with?
Yeah.
You literally can roll ink on this.
Oh, and that's gonna make a nice pattern.
And lay it down and roll it, and it'll have that texture on your paper or your page.
Yeah.
Okay? The same thing with this. You could have glued it to your cardboard to create a stamp using this because of the texture.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to take this because this is the size I want. And I had my needle, and I've already missed. There it is. Okay? So I'm going to move some of my things around. I have different sizes if you want for
but it's
drawing.
It's got to dry now.
So I'm going to take a piece. Now, sometimes I can take a longer piece because I might weave a couple of rows. So I might double check the width. I might do 3 or 4 rows of this. Or I can do a single. Oh, look at the colors in that.
Yeah.
And, you know, so Karen, you're doing that. If you want to, I see how you've done a monochromatic and a theme, right?
Yep.
So you could take yarns. I mean, like, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the orange,
Yep.
okay? And create some artwork using some of this, but we have that big box of yarn.
Yes, yes.
And you can find some colors that you like to create with.
Yep.
Now, so I'm doing more of you can see my theme, I realize that I'm doing more nature colors. So I might come and look at the colors that might be more natural, or the greens and the blues and the purples. So I'm gonna actually take some of this nice sparkly stuff that I came across and use some of it. I'm going to cut it. So if you have a needle, and again, this is important too for those who have maybe a needle and you have a piece thin, and this doesn't fit through it very well, does it? So the thing I do when I do something like this, I fold my thread in half or my yarn in half, and I push it through the needle. Push that through, and there I go. Now, if you don't have a needle, one of the ways to make this feel like a needle is that you can take masking tape or Scotch tape and wrap it to make like an end. You ever done that, Karen? Where do you have any, if we have Scotch tape or masking tape.
And to make an eyelet?
To make like almost like a shoestring.
Yes.
And it makes it hard, and that becomes like your needle.
Sometimes you can use glue.
Oh, to make it thick.
Yeah.
But we're not going to take that time. So I'm going to just go back in and out and create a weaving with this particular. And it'll go through. And go back. Some of it can go right through. Whoops. And the fun thing is, I want you guys to know too, I might be coming in this way, but I'm going to actually weave both up and down and across. Once I finish my across, so I'm using this to go in and out, using this as my loom. Go through, and I don't have to use a long thread. Each line could be a different piece, just like you did with the other. So I've started this, and I'm weaving inside here, but I'm not done because I'm going to add more things to it. I might come in and out going this way. Again, ribbon can also fit into my needle to make it go easier. So I'm going to come back up and I'm going to go vertically. And the fun part is I can go in and around what I wove before and create as that part of the loom. And I'm going to come up and spread it out. I might do that later. So going in both directions. So you can see where I'm taking my onion skin and just going in both directions. Some other colors here. I can use paper in this. I might cut up some paper to go through here.
White.
So again, I'm weaving in and out of the spaces of my bag. I can hold it, come back under. And it can be part of my loom. And this, I'm just going to finish up my thread. And the fun part too is you can create however I call it intuitive art, leaving it as you wish. So far, this is what I've been weaving. I'm certainly far from done, but what you can do with this bag. I take some of this, add it to it. This fits nice in here. And I'm going to go in and out. Use some of the yarns that are already attached. Use them as part of my warp. And there we go. And in some ways, these are called, fiber art, what we're creating. Oh my God, this is sort of fun what it's turning out to be. So again, I'm going in both directions when I'm using the onion bags or the food bags, going back and forth through it. Oops, I can even use, if you need some more of these, Karen, I've got more.
Thank you. No, I think that's good.
Let me just add this. Oh, and I could even use some of this. I might even take a page of this and make a little strip.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's why I don't throw a lot of things away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to come up in here. I'm going to go in this direction with this. And weave in and out. So how's your weaving projects going, girls?
Good.
So on Thursday, I'm going to show you some stitching we can actually do within the book. Today was weaving. Oh, look, Karen, that's sort of fun.
Oh, that's nice. Very
I'm
nice.
not, like I said, it'll take me a little while to say I'm done.
It needs a little zip.
Yeah, it does. I might be adding
Yeah,
like a yellow or red, because a lot of times so I'm using cool colors right now.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes adding that little zip of a warm color.
Mm-hmm.
And so my cool colors are
Like this is in there. Or on this side, it's this one that's in there.
Yes, that really pops. Well, in the red too, because you've got those are two warm colors.
Yes.
Can we show?
Yes.
Because this is what Karen has just created. And her zip, she's done the natural colors, but then she added the yellow and the red to make it really zip. Okay. And then on the other side, the red and the yellow also pop.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's written in it. And now she's going to attach this to her book.
Yes.
Now you may decide that you wanted a certain color, Karen, so you could look into the yarn box to see what colors that you may like to use.
Yeah.
I have some of this ribbon. I don't know if it's long enough for what you're
is good.
because you'll need 4 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, are you going to do it that way? Oh, that's another way to
That's
do it.
another way to do it. But
Okay.
yeah, I think it is.
Okay. So I actually might take, I'm looking at different colors here that I've got. And
I don't think my book is ready for this yet.
okay.
It's not drawn.
No, I'm just, like I said, I'm looking around. Ooh, I love the tones in here. I'm going to use that strip in my, so I'm going to make a long strip. So again, I'm using the colors in the calendar or whatever I'm finding. I know that has words on there. Ah, guess what I can do? I can glue 2 pages back to back.
Yes.
And give me the look that I want. So I'm going to do that. So it's a lot of problem solving in some ways.
So Charlotte, when do you go to Poland?
You're muted.
Oh,
I'm,
sorry. Yeah, I'm going
Charlotte, when do you go to Poland? What?
I'm going this Sunday.
This Sunday? Okay. Arden, how long are you able to stay in the Adirondacks?
We are not going to Madison this
Oh.
COVID and everything. So a very long time.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Good.
wonderful. Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear from my school on whether or not we're going back.
Yeah, I think my school is doing we're going 2 days a week or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
us too. But you have a choice of going either full remote or going to school 2 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go the 2 days a week because I cannot stay in quarantine forever. But I don't know if my mom will. So.
It'll be interesting to know what even 2 days a week will be like. If it'll be disappointing because it's because you have to stay so separate, or because you have to wear masks, or because you can't do gym or music, or it'll be interesting to know what 2 days a week will really look like.
Yeah, it'll be weird.
Yeah, normally there are 36 kids in my class, and right now there's only 9. There can only be 9 people per classroom. So.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we don't know. I mean, I would think you might work what we call pod. You have the same people with that core group that you're with, the 9. It doesn't switch out. And that you have everything together, whether it be gym, you could do 9. It may be shortened gym classes.
Yeah.
Again, I teach art. And so the question is, how will we do that?
Even if you have a pod, the teacher is the link.
That's correct.
So for ceramics the second half of the year, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah, right.
Art classes, they're band or chorus and everything. I don't know.
I'm sure, Arden, they will give everyone a kiln.
Sure. Or maybe they'll give us the clay to take home and form it, and then they'll fire it for us at school or something like that. That isn't until the second half of the year, luckily. So.
What school do you go to?
Saranac Lake.
Saranac Lake? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it just does.
I'm sorry.
Personal. Yes, I know. But this goes out.
Okay. Putting these on now.
See how easy that is to do.
What's that?
How easy. Yeah. Oh,
Ooh.
I'm so
conscious of it.
very.
I am not.
It's okay. It's okay. But I like that this turned out because I didn't think about putting it, you know, I didn't like the white part of it, the background, by gluing two sides together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to still come back in this way too. But I'm just like, oh, this was a happy chance. But I just,
Yeah.
so I'm gluing two edges together, and I've created another strip. I can clear that up if I want to.
So you could also glue it together like this.
True.
And then cut your strip.
Even better. Thank you, Karen. So Karen said this is something because I don't want the writing on this. So I'm taking this piece of calendar. I'm going to fold it in half. And again, this could be my loom. Look at that.
Right.
Wouldn't that be a beautiful loom that you
Yeah.
could print with or weave
Yeah.
with? So there's all sorts of ways you can create. But I'm going to make strips. And Karen was really smart because I don't want that part showing. I'm going to glue this together.
And then you have no white spot.
Then I have no white spots and it'll be even. So there we go. Really smash it down. And there I am. Awesome. Thank you, Karen. We work well together.
Yes.
And I realized we have about, actually we are really over,
Yes. And
but
I
that's
have to go.
okay.
Yeah.
And I know Karen needs to go. But before we head off for today, do you have any questions for us?
Nope.
But I'd like to, could we see what you're doing? Oh,
Mine isn't
nice.
that good.
Oh, nice.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, yours is really good. Mine is really bad.
No. Never say, you know what?
That
So,
are-
for being the first time too, if this is the first time doing it, this is a practice run kind of thing, right? You
Yeah.
saw how we started it, and that's the fun part because you're going to go through a lot of these, right? Doesn't matter where you are. You could turn this into a weaving project. You can turn the back of this. This is my magazine. Guess what? I could tear this off and turn this into a loom.
Mhm.
You know, depending on what size I want, right?
So let's see, Charlotte.
So Charlotte, show us, please.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take like some stuff off and then put in different.
So let me see it a little closer. So here's what the issue is there. You're not going over, under, over.
Oh, I
Okay.
knew something was wrong.
Okay. So
Don't take it apart.
Don't take it apart. You can add things into it. So let's say you had those, bring it up to me just a second, okay? So you've got those two strips together. Take a thin thing and go in between them. And I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about. So I have two together, and that happens all the time, especially with people who have not been weaving in a while. So I'm going to do it real quick. And that's why it's important to, you know, we talk about it. So I've got this one just like that. And I'm going to cut another one real quick. And I'm going to do the same way because she's got two papers.
Right.
Okay.
Charlotte, I actually did that on purpose
Yeah.
because I was having trouble getting the paper in. So I did them both in the
Okay.
same and then put another one in
So
between.
Charlotte, see how these are together?
Yeah.
Okay. So what will happen in the end if I do it all that way? It's going to come apart like this. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got that. I'm not going to take it apart. No big deal. I'm going to take one of my, I could take yarn. I can take a pipe cleaner, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the underneath,
The opposite.
I'm going to do the opposite, under, over, and come through. Can you see what I'm doing? And I'm
Yeah.
going to put it in between that. And now I've added another detail and I didn't have to take it apart. Okay?
Okay.
Now, here's another cool thing you can do to make sure you glue, all right? You've got it sort of like this, right?
Mhm.
Another thing I can do is I can take, you know, and again, there's all these different papers I have. I'm going to take this one and I can glue to make it look like it's on top, a collage.
Mhm.
So it makes it look like it's over under, okay? But anyway, those are different ways we can fix that. You don't have to take it apart.
Okay.
Okay, does that help?
Awesome. Yes. Thank
Oh,
you.
great. Well, it's wonderful to see you all. And I look forward to seeing, maybe we'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to show you how to do some stitching.
Okay.
Okay?
Bye-bye.
So good
Bye-bye.
to see you.
See you Thursday.
If there's that
use the cursor.
Use the cursor.
Okay. I hope everybody had a great day.